Hey everyone, today is Thursday, September 16th. The time is 4:54 p.m. and the temperature is around 22 degrees Celsius. I'm here in Bloor West Village, and this would be the Willard Gardens Parquet. And there is my e-scooter. So for this one, I'll be hopping on the e-scooter and riding east along Bloor Street West, and then Bloor Street East over to, I think, probably around Broadway Avenue. I'll be spending most of my time in the somewhat new bike lanes on Bloor. So this here is Willard Avenue. I'm riding north and I'll turn right onto Bloor Street West here. And being the dummy that I am, I forgot the wide angle lens for my camera. And I also forgot to do my chin strap up on my helmet. Let me just do that quickly. There we go. So last year, City Council voted to expand the bike lanes on Bloor Street. And they start just up ahead here at Runnymede. And they'll pretty much take us all the way across to where Bloor Street East becomes Danforth Avenue. Prior to last year, they ran between Shaw and I think Avenue Road, and those were put in 2016. And they were also added along Danforth Avenue, although I won't be covering that stretch today. And I think this ride will be around 11 kilometers in total. And I'll be passing through a number of neighborhoods, as well as the north end of downtown. And here's where the bike lanes begin. And this is Runnymede Road, and just to the north of here is Runnymede Station. And they do have these curbs in, serving as protective barriers between traffic and the bike lane. Although I think it's fairly inconsistent throughout the bike lane, where there is the lane protectors. It's not continuous. This little downhill stretch takes us into the High Park Swansea neighborhood. And High Park will be just up here on the right. To put in these bike lanes, street parking was reduced, although in most areas they did expand the hours. And it's worth noting that this is still a pilot project. There's a look into High Park. There's a police officer standing over there. Not sure what he's doing. Hopefully not writing tickets to e-scooter riders. I think he's doing a paid duty. There's some construction going on. As it's worth noting that earlier this year, I think in April, City Council voted to uphold the ban on e-scooters in Toronto. The province of Ontario is running a pilot project that started in 2000. And I think Toronto's the only city to opt out of that, which is quite disappointing, but on the fortunate side, the police aren't enforcing the e-scooter ban. I think there was a committee called Infrastructure and the Environment, or something along those lines. It was a committee of 6 people who put together a nonsense list of reasons to ban e-scooters, and City Council voted to uphold it. AKA the 6 dumbest people in the city of Toronto, if you ask me. As pretty much any argument against e-scooters can kind of be turned on its head by replacing the word e-scooter with bike or e-bike, both of which are perfectly legal in the city of Toronto. There's Coburn Lodge, or Coburn Lodge Drive, that'll take you into High Park. And I think some polls showed about 70% of the population of Toronto support the city participating in the e-scooter pilot. Oh, here's someone hopefully not running across the bike lane with their dog. And at the bottom of the hill here is Parkside Drive on the right, and where Keele Street begins just on the left. And that'll run up through the Junction neighborhood. There's a separate traffic signal for cyclists there. Thank you. And there's one of the issues with these bike lanes. There's not a lot of room for passing. There's a fat tire, what looks to be a folding e-bike, not too unlike my other one. I have a couple of e-bikes and I quite enjoy the fat tire one. So this entire ride should be a little over 30 minutes. And it'll be taking me across the north end of downtown through rush hour. Although it's still not quite the same as pre-pandemic times. And coming up is Dundas Street. And to the right will lead you down to the Roncesvalles neighborhood. And here's where there was a disconnect in the bike path previously. Now these cars aren't supposed to turn right here. Until it's clear to do so, they don't have a dotted line. So a cyclist would have priority over them. And the bike lane disappears. We'll be heading under the West Toronto rail path in a second. There's the GO station on the left where you could catch the Up Express to the airport, which I've talked about before. It's kind of puzzling how it's not better connected to Dundas West Subway Station. And the bike lane should re-emerge at Symington up ahead here. And that e-bike in front of me is the kind that's not supposed to be in the bike lanes. Whenever you see pedals on those tiny little T-Rex arms, that's generally a good sign that it's supposed to be on the road with the cars. And you'll see this guy's right pedal is even folded up. So he's got no intentions of using them. And coming up is Lansdowne, and I think that'll take me into the Bloordale neighborhood. And after that will be Dovercourt Village. So far it's a rather uneventful ride, although things get a lot busier just up ahead. And my speed right now is 18 kilometers per hour. So it's a rather gingerly pace. There's Brock Avenue. I'm in no hurry. It's okay. And with these narrow lanes, you don't really have a lot of passing opportunities. So if you are faster moving, it's probably best just to stay on the road with traffic there. And coming up is Dufferin Street.
Look.
There's the Gladstone Library on the right. And this is the Bloor and Ossington area. Otherwise known as Dovercourt Village. Maybe I'll jump ahead of these cyclists here. It is a really nice day to be out doing this. I recorded a live stream this morning up in North York. This is almost perfect weather. I'll have to come back to this area and do a walk at some point. I think I covered part of it in a recent walk to Dufferin Mall. Let's see, is this cab going to try to turn? There's Christie Pitts Park on the left. And just after the park, we'll be in Koreatown. So I can't imagine this bike lane not becoming permanent. I think since reducing the traffic lanes from 2 to 1 and putting in the bike lanes, there's only been a minor increase in traffic on DuPont, which is just to the north of here, and Harvard, which is just to the south. Welcome to Koreatown. I was in another fairly Korean area earlier today. And I used to live around here. It's one of my favorite neighborhoods in the city. There's a Good Samaritan cleaning up the trash. And here is Bloor Street, so this signifies the entrance to downtown. Entrance as if there's a gate or something. You get the idea. This is the western boundary of downtown. So this part from around Ossington, which I've gone by, to Avenue, had a bike lane since 2016, although it wasn't a protected bike lane. But now it kind of is. That's how you do it. Slower traffic, keep right. Here's Brunswick Avenue. And it's 5:20, so I was probably off a little bit on my 30-minute prediction. And here's Spadina Avenue, and there's a guy going the wrong way. No F's given, eating his ice cream cone. And around this area is the University of Toronto. I recorded a video through here just a few days ago. And starting at Bathurst, this area is known as the Annex. Here's where some of those inconsistencies arise. There's no longer protective barriers on the left. Although you'll notice how much quieter the scooter is on this nice smooth surface. That's Varsity Stadium just on the right. St. George Station would be on the left. We've gone past a number of subway stations now, and I haven't called them all out. Oops. You got to be careful here with the parking on the right. There's the Royal Ontario Museum. And here's Avenue, so the bike lane used to end here. And they've reinforced these protective barriers on this stretch of Bloor. This is the Yorkville neighborhood. This stretch in particular is known as the Mink Mile. My English goes on autopilot sometimes. Looks like this guy in front of me is texting. Coming up is the intersection of Yonge and Bloor. Some people campaigning for the People's Party of Canada on the right. That's a fairly extreme party. I said that was Yonge and Bloor back there. That was Bay and Bloor. There's a brain fart for you. This is Yonge and Bloor, and this is Bloor Street East. I'm just walking here. I told you I was on autopilot earlier. I bet there's people already typing comments telling me I got that wrong. I'd probably be one of them too if I was viewing this. Now we're on Bloor Street East. There's another e-scooter rider in front of me. No helmet though. I really don't think people should be riding two abreast like that in the bike lane. This girl's seat is far too low for her. Whenever you see someone's knees flying way up in the air like that and off to the side, that means their saddle is most likely way too low. In the area just to the south of here is St. Jamestown. And just south of there is Cabbagetown. And coming up is Parliament Street. I'm going 24 kilometers per hour. So I've topped out, I've got the throttle all the way down. That's one of the reasons why I didn't want to pass that girl. Here's Castle Frank Road. And on the other side of the street is Castle Frank Station. And there is a guy running a red light. And these people turning are exactly why you don't do that. You might end up cutting one of them off and creating a dangerous situation. And here is the Prince Edward Viaduct. And on the other side of this, Bloor Street East comes to an end and turns into Danforth Avenue. Oh, they've opened this back up. For the past several weeks, the bike lane on the right here has been blocked due to construction, and the sidewalk wasn't open either. So I have left downtown and I'm riding over the Don River right now. And the Lower Don Trail, which still looks like it's open. I thought that was supposed to shut down back in July. There used to be a rather confusing merge here to the left. It looks like they finally addressed it. There's a dedicated light here for cyclists as these cars are turning onto the Don Valley Parkway. I'm gonna just turn right here onto Broadview. It looks like things are going to be pretty tight. So I'll just go end this ride in a minute. We're doing some water main work here, so the streetcars aren't running. I don't think I want to go through that. Like it was still wet asphalt. I was supposed to come to this area last night to have dinner, and I ended up getting a flat tire on my e-bike. And rather than meet my friends, I ended up just taking the e-bike back home. And we made plans to do it again the next night, which is tonight. So I'm back in this area. I'm gonna wait for a clear opening here before I merge over. All right, I'm not gonna battle this traffic anymore. Let's just get off here. And what a view it is. There's a look at the skyline. And my trusty e-scooter, that is the tech trendy ES Commute. There's a link to that in the description. And on that note, I hope you enjoyed this ride along Bloor Street West and Bloor Street East. Let me know your thoughts and comments down below. If you wish to support the channel, there are links to my Patreon and YouTube channel membership in the description. There's a zoomed in view of the skyline. All right, thank you for watching, and I will catch you on the next one.